Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Raw review. And wow, what a show. There was a big concern that we were not going to be able to carry on the momentum of last week. You know, we had the Raw after WrestleMania, and then I thought the SmackDown was an even better show with what went down with the Bloodline. But honestly, what we got on this show really did keep that momentum going. I think we stacked a lot in the first part of the show, and a criticism which I know not everyone agrees with is still a criticism that I'm gonna throw out there. QR code is amazing. I love it as much as anyone else, but oh my god, does it distract. I mean, certainly when it is as deep as what it is and there's so much to look into, it is so difficult to be looking into that and enjoying being a part of that. Because it's not the kind of thing you can leave, really, because by the time you've left it, it's all been worked out, all the answers are everywhere. You kind of want to be there as the clues are coming through, you know? I wish they did them much later in the episode so that you could watch the episodes, then the QR code would drop, and then we would be exploring it after the episodes. I do find that it sort of distracts, but I know not everyone agrees with that, and that is fine. That's just how I feel about it, and I find it distracts me from the show. But let's walk through it, shall we? Because there was so much here. So we started off with Rhea. We did a video on this, so we don't need to really go into it too much. I would say there's a risk of Liv coming across as a heel. She did get booed in this segment when her name was mentioned. She was also booed later when we saw her. And she's making the point of, look, this is karma, right? It's an eye for an eye. It's a shoulder for a shoulder. She doesn't have any remorse about the fact that Rhea has had to vacate the championship. And it's, I don't know, it's an awkward position to be in, what with her being the baby face. People love Rhea as well. Maybe if Rhea was like this hated heel, then people wouldn't care so much. But Rhea is so over. Even Becky said in the build to WrestleMania, if Rhea is meant to be a heel, then she's the worst heel in the history of wrestling. Because Becky was standing in the ring with her and there was big, loud mommy chants. She's cool. She is a destructive force that is cool and sexy. And people love it and love her. So, I don't know. I really don't know how people are going to react to Liv now that Rhea has had to vacate the championship due to injury. She said she was going to have to be out for a few months. Liv, of course, would come out and kind of confront. And I thought this was a bit strange because Rhea was like, you're going to have to hold me back. You're going to have to lock me up if I see Liv. Well, Liv came walking out and Rhea did very little. So, I don't know, that Rhea just seemed off. She seemed flustered, and you can understand that. She's giving up her prized possession. She's been, I suppose, in a way, outmaneuvered, outthought, you know, and so she's lost her championship. She's not been beaten for it, but she's no longer champion. Liv won. And that is probably a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? So lots to break down in this opening. But there we go. Breaking news. As a result of a backstage ambush, Rhea Ripley is forced to relinquish the Women's World Championship. We don't know what the next steps are. All we know is that next week we crown the new Women's Champion, Women's World Champion, but we don't know what that match looks like, who's in it, how many people are in it. No details on that yet, so. But I don't mind that. It makes next week very intriguing. We don't have the answers. We're going to have to maybe find out on SmackDown or tune in next week to find out. So backstage there was Rhea. There was loud thank you mommy chants from the crowds. Judgment Day would confront Rhea, try to cool her down, calm her down, settle her down, and basically said, you know, you'll come back bigger and stronger. And she just sort of walked off, thanked them. And I think she said, look after this one for me, referring to Dominik. And off she went. But as we said, you know, she exits now for a few months. That's going to be a big loss for WWE. But it's an opportunity for someone to step in. But who is that person going to be? You know, are they going to go with Liv? Are they going to go with Becky? Could Becky be around? Becky's going to be on the European tour. So are we going to go with Becky? Are we going to try someone completely different? Could it be a shock first reign for someone like Zoe Stark? Don't know. It's very interesting. I think we might end up doing a separate video on that as we kind of explore those options. Then we got this was Sheamus. So Sheamus came back and he had familiar music. I think it was like a couple of his themes kind of blended together. He came back. He was in a match with Ivar. Looked like he'd put on a little bit of girth, right? He was in a match with Ivar and he won this match. No Valhalla. Right? This was mentioned when Ivar popped up in NXT. There was no Valhalla, but I didn't really pay much notice to that. I just thought they couldn't be bothered to bring her to NXT, but she wasn't here either. So no Valhalla. Sheamus and Ivar had a really good match. This got a 98% good rating, right? So it didn't break into that great category. Obviously, there's a couple of matches we've got now that are all-time, the main event of WrestleMania. So we do have some in all-time. Just below that is great. Well, this got 98% good. So people enjoyed it. It just misses out on that great rating, but some brilliant moments like that white noise off the middle turnbuckle and a couple of big power slams and stuff. And Sheamus was picking up Ivar with ease, seemingly. And Sheamus managed to secure the victory. So after that, we then went to Triple H. Triple H came out and we got the new tag titles, right? So the new tag titles got shown off. I think these new tag titles look absolutely awesome. I think I'm at about an 8.75 to 9 sort of range. I love belts that have got detail. I think that these are full of detail. They remind me a bit of the UK belts, the NXT UK Championship. It's sort of got that vibe to it. I like the red behind the text. I wasn't sure about that at first, but actually when you see it like this, it really makes it pop, and I really like that. The thing that makes this belt for me, and if you've seen my video on this, you'll know what I'm about to say, it's the silver in the background. The silver in the background really makes this because it allows the gold to stand out more, and it certainly allows the red to stand out more. So I love the fact we've got some different colors in here, right? I think it really helps this belt. I suppose my only issue with the belt, the only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is, for me personally, I'm not a fan of like the round circular front plates. I would much rather it be like a different shape than that. I understand that the previous belts were circular, and perhaps they wanted to just pay a bit of, I don't know, homage to that maybe. But that's the only thing, really. I think maybe it could have been a bit, not quite as big, maybe a bit thinner. Just, I don't know, yeah, the circular plate is the issue. Not too keen on those bars either side either. They're not really massively doing it for me. I used to love when they had like more side plates that had some interesting bits on. This is pretty basic with its side plates. Obviously you've just got where the champs' names go. And then you've got your front plate, but the front plate I think looks absolutely awesome. I really do rate it. And I don't think that the belt reveal was very good because you needed to see these pictures to really appreciate these titles. For them to really pop, you needed these official pictures. They didn't come across as well. I think it was the glare of the lights. But yeah, these are the new World Tag Team Championships. Definitely means that we're getting belts for SmackDown. I would imagine they're going to be the same, but with blue behind, right? That would be my guess, that they'll be like this, but with blue behind. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to be something completely different. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm guessing we'll find that out on Friday. So there was the belts being unveiled by Triple H. We got a little bit of back and forth here. R-Truth calling Triple H Tommaso. I actually thought the humor got in the way here. I love R-Truth and I love his humor, but in this moment, right now, my only concern is to get a good look at these belts. I want to see these belts. That's the whole point of this segment. So us doing like a bit of faffing around with, is this Tommaso? Is this Triple H? I'm fine with it. I'm not down on it. But all the time this is happening, I'm like, just show me the belts properly, please. And as I said, like, you needed this picture really to really appreciate them. So that was that. Then we got a number one contenders match for the new champs. Obviously, Awesome Truth winning those belts at WrestleMania. So it was DIY against New Day against the Creed brothers. This actually got a great rating. People really enjoyed this match. It came out great, 56%. People really enjoyed this, and it was a win for DIY. Then we got this Candice and Indi match against Maxxine and Ivy. This ended up getting a good 87%. So people weren't crazy about this, right? People weren't crazy about that match, but you know, it did the job. And Indi kind of getting involved. Have we got an end of the match? I don't think we do. But yeah, she got involved in the end. So it seems like she is aligning with Candice, which is very interesting. We didn't quite know what Indi was going to do, but it seems like she is going with Candice. Right, backstage image that I've not seen here. A bit of footage, actually. So, just a moment. Look, she seems genuinely upset. Yeah, she seems genuinely upset there, doesn't she? Absolutely no doubt in my mind that Rhea Ripley will come back tougher, stronger, and more dominant than ever. Thank you, Rhea, for a reign that the entire universe can be proud of. Look back at Damian Priest as well. 380 days. Rhea Ripley was champion for 380 days. She actually was the longest reigning champion for a while after, obviously, Roman, his title reign ended. Gunther and Roman, both of their reigns ended at WrestleMania. So Rhea, for the past week, has been the longest reigning champion. Now her reign has ended. Who's the longest reigning champion now? Is it Logan Paul? Who is the longest reigning champion? I mean, we've got I think it is, you know. Is it like on the main roster? No, it might be the Kabuki Warriors. Thinking about it, might be the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, Bayley was a new champ, and Sammy was a new champ, and Damian's a new champ, and Cody's a new champ, and Rhea's just lost her title. So it's got to be either Logan or the Kabuki Warriors now, hasn't it? Crazy. Right, then we had Andrade against Dirty Dom. So it was a win for Andrade. He got a 94% good rating, so it wasn't as good as matches we'd seen so far. Judgment Day and Dominik attack Andrade after, but Ricochet came to the save. So Ricochet helping out Andrade at the end of this match. It was all right. 94% goods. Then we went to our next match. This was really short. This was like 2 minutes long. This was Chelsea and Piper against Kayden and Katana. It was so short that it just got a good 80%. The big talking point here is that Chelsea got the pin, right? And it was actually Chelsea and Piper that picked up the victory. Backstage, we saw Liv saying that she is not the bad guy. A shoulder for a shoulder. This is calm, right? Cody came out and the crowd were going crazy for Cody. Backstage, there's a picture of Bayley with her belt and Rhea with hers. So one champion paying respect to the other fallen champion. Cody said, I don't know how many Raw moments I have left. Montreal, let's rock next. There's Liv about to do her promo. She said the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is only just getting started. She wants that championship. So Cody Rhodes came out. He didn't really have loads to say, to be honest. He thanked Seth for being a man of his word and for being his shield. He said he thinks The Rock's got one more match, more than one more match in him. And he said, Rock, if I'm going to bleed, then you're going to bleed with me. And then he just really brought Jey out and wished him luck as he goes on to fight for that championship. We know that Jey has got an opportunity against Damian Priest for that World Heavyweight Championship. And so he just had a few words with Jey, so there was a lovely moment. And he said, till we yeet again instead of meet again. So he really was bringing out the dad jokes, Cody, here. But this set up our next match, which was Jey Uso against Finn Balor. So Jey Uso against Finn Balor was our next match. And it was a win for Jey Uso, 96% goods. 96% goods. So, again, did the job. It was fine. When he wins, though, Jey, I don't know if we've got an image of it here. Let's see if we can mute the sound. There's a moment where they start beating him up, and Damian just sort of stares at Finn. He didn't seem too impressed with Finn. That was my reading of this moment. There's this moment where they're like staring at each other. And you can see, look, Finn just sort of saying, come on, let's get at him. And Damian just sort of stared at him. In that moment, I did wonder if Damian was thinking that Finn was a weak link. Finn had just lost this match. And so in that moment, I did wonder if he was just questioning. And I was watching this thinking, is he about to turn on Finn? Is he about to turn on Finn? He didn't, but I did get the impression something was going on there. So this was crazy though, because actually Jey gets out the ring, right? Manages to escape the Judgment Day, goes into the crowds, walks all the way to the outsides where he ends up bumping into Sami. So here's Jey, look, goes outside, bumps into Sami. And then Sami starts making his way. Look at some of these people. Look at this guy here. Sami starts making his way into the arena, looking out at the fans and celebrating with the fans. I mean, it's an epic moment. Jey walks outside. He's got no top on. I have no idea why he went outside. But Sami was out there just waiting. He said he wanted to go to the ring through the front door, just like he did the first time he came to this arena, and that's exactly what he did. And this was epic. This entrance for Sami was everything that you would hope it would be. It was so good. It's one of the best Raw entrances I've ever seen. It was so good. So good. And so this obviously set up our main event. So our main event match was coming up next. This was going to be Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable in Montreal in front of Sami's people. They'd been loud all night, passionate all night. They'd made their voices heard. And they would continue because, as we said, they were firmly behind Sami. And a great crowd. So here we go. Look, a new women's world champion will be crowned next Monday. That's all the details we've got. Big fight feel. So there we go. We were underway, and it was a win for Sami. 66% great. People really enjoyed this match. 66% great was the rating. And Sami retained. Hard fought battle, lots of ankle locks. This was the moment where Sami went over. I think he saw his dad's. I don't know if that was his dad, but this is certainly his wife. So he goes over to his wife, hugging his wife after being victorious, and Chad attacks from behind. Look, as he was hugging his wife, Chad grabs Sami, hits a German on the outside, hurls Sami into the ring post, chucks him over the commentary table, gets him back into the ring, and then does, look at this shot as well. The production from WWE has been absolutely amazing. Brilliant camera angle here. As you can see Sami, look, and the way that he's being ankle locked in the corner. And you can see Chad even staring at Sami's wife. I mean, and he's tapping away, and this is how the show ends. A heel turn for Chad Gable. So much to unpack there. We haven't even spoken about Uncle Howdy and the glitch and Nightbird and all of that stuff. I mean, what I would say about that is that was deep. It was during the New Day's entrance earlier in the show. And it was, I mean, it was, you scanned a QR code. You then had to put 2 bits of information together to create a URL. You put that into your computer. You then got an image. You then got a video. Like, it was pretty full on, right? There was a lot of stuff to get your teeth into. And as I said, it did kind of take away from the middle portion of the show, but brilliant QR code, very satisfying, lots of information to explore. We will do a follow-up video. There's a video on the channel for the new belts. There's a video on the channel about Rhea vacating. There's a video on the channel about the QR codes. There's a video on the channel now about a review. I am going to work on Unseen, which is where we get all of that stuff that's playing out on social media, right? The exclusive interviews and all that. I'm going to go off and work on that now. So lots of stuff happening at the moment. This was just a rammed episodes. It was just an absolutely rammed episodes. I honestly think score-wise, I would be giving this, I feel like it's an 8. I don't know if it gets to an 8.25. I think I might just settle on the 8, to be honest. I really enjoyed the show. It just felt like there was so much that was happening. You just, honestly, great matches. Really good promos, stories being progressed, titles being vacated and titles being introduced, QR code for Uncle Howdy. Like, there was just so much that went down that I've said before, the shows that I really hate are the ones that are boring. If it's a boring show and the matches are boring, the promos are boring, and the shows just aren't progressing, you know, those are the hardest shows to watch. This was one of the easiest shows to watch, so I so enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. I'm gonna settle on the score of 8. So let me know your thoughts about this week's Raw. Did you enjoy it? Who do you think's going to be the new Women's World Champion? Is Liv going to get her hands on it? Is she going to complete her revenge tour? Are we going to get another QR code on Friday? I would think so. And what next for Chad, of course? Chad is back being a heel now. So, you know, what's that going to mean for his future? So, very interesting. He was so over as a babyface that turning him heel is something I really was not expecting. Seeds had been planted in his backstage interview, though. It was quite a heelish backstage interview, so there was people wondering if it might go this way. But it's one of those, you didn't quite believe it till you saw it, and, well, we saw it, so. Right, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support as always. I hope you enjoyed this week's Raw. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.